Hi everyone, this is Dave from Geekanoids and welcome to my video about the Vicovation Vico-Marcus 5 Dual Full HD Dashcam. Now, what is a dashcam and why would you want one? Well, I'll tell you that before I unbox this product. Basically, a dashcam is a camera that you install into your vehicle, and then if you were unfortunately involved in a road traffic accident, or perhaps you're even parked and somebody backed into you, then you've got some video footage that you can rely on for evidence. So it's very good to install one of these if you want peace of mind that if somebody does sort of crash into you, or maybe you are witness to another accident that you're not necessarily involved in, then you've got some video footage of the event that could be useful to somebody. Now, this particular kit contains two cameras. Some dash cams just contain one camera that records footage from the front windscreen of your car, and this particular one includes a secondary camera, this smaller one that you fit in the rear windscreen of your car, so you've got footage captured both in front of the vehicle and behind the vehicle. We also get a 32GB micro SD card included inside this package. So let's have a look inside and see what we get included. I should also tell you that both of these cameras record full HD video, so full 1080p 30 frames per second video. And in this front section of the box we've got the two cameras really nicely presented. Now, I've already had this installed in my car, but I popped it back in the box just to show you. So let me show you the two cameras first of all. And this is the main camera, which probably looks a little bit big to you, but it's okay. You know, it is a large unit, but this controls everything. It controls the rear camera as well, so it needs to be a little bit bigger. And you can still hide this to a certain degree. If you place it behind your rear view mirror, you can sort of get it out of sight and disguised a little tiny bit. But if it does concern you, leaving a camera this big on show in your vehicle whilst you're not in your car, then you can remove it and take it with you. You know, it's very easy to remove. So this is obviously the front of the camera. I've got a little blue bit over the front of the lens, but it's a really good quality lens with an f2.0 aperture. We've got a little connector here, which we can either connect it direct to the windscreen mount, which I'll show you in a short while, or indeed there is another holder, which I'll show you that you can connect it to. Across the top edge, just here, we have got a connection for a wire that runs through your vehicle to the rear camera. And then we've also got the USB connection to power the camera. Round on this side we've got an optional GPS module, which I haven't got, but you can plug that in here, and this allows you to capture map data alongside the video footage. We've also got an HDMI out, and then round on this side we've got a little cover, and this actually reveals the memory card slot. So micro SD card, and as I say, they supply you with a 32GB card already installed inside the camera. And then round the back we've got the screen, which you can see the glare from, but it's a full colour screen. And then we've got a series of buttons across the bottom. We've got the main power on off, we've got some menu control buttons, a record button, and also this orange button here which marks the video file to lock it. So if you were involved in a road traffic accident and you didn't want that video file to be recorded over, you'd hit this button and it would sort of protect that file. Now, this does record in a loop, so it will sort of record continuously. When it fills up the memory card, it go back to the beginning of the memory card and start recording again, but any protective files won't be overwritten. So that's your main camera unit. And then your secondary camera is this tiny little one. Look at that, how cool is that? Very, very small, very discreet little tiny camera. The only connection is on the top of this, which is the cable that goes from this camera through your vehicle to the front camera. This little slot here is just to aid in sort of connecting it to the mounting mechanism, which I'll show you next. I'll show you the rest of the contents of the box, and this is what you get inside. So what we've got in here is we have got a suction mount for that front camera. So this connects to your windscreen, and then you can connect this directly to this camera. For the front camera, very easy to use, ball joint mechanism, so you can angle it, and then you can screw this to lock that down into position. So you can connect the camera directly to that, or you can use this optional mounting mechanism. It's got another ball joint on top, and then the camera slots into this. And the idea behind this is when you're recording through a windscreen, if your windscreen is at a real steep angle, or even if it's not at a steep angle, you can sort of get problems with reflections coming off the glass of your windscreen, and it doesn't make the video very easy to see. Well, this has got a standard 52mm thread, so you can buy an optional circular polarizing filter which will reduce those reflections. So that's an option for you. We also got a spare ball joint, and then we've got this sticky padded mount here, same ball joint mechanism on there, and then this is what we use in the rear windscreen to install that rear mounted camera. We've got a power cable which just goes into a 12-volt accessory socket, micro USB connection on the other end, and then we've got a 6-meter cable, and this is what you run from that small rear camera through your vehicle, either under the carpet or through the head lining to the front camera. So it's the front camera that does all of the recording. Now this is a 6-meter one. There is a kit that you can buy that has a 9-meter cable, so have a measure up before you order one and buy accordingly. And then there's also a quick start guide as well. So that's everything that you get inside the box. Now, as I mentioned before, I've already had this installed in my car, and the installation was pretty straightforward really. It was just a matter of mounting the front and rear cameras in the appropriate positions and then connecting the two with that 6-meter cable. Now, admittedly, because this wasn't going to be a permanent installation, I was just installing it for the review. I didn't run that cable under the carpets, so if you want to make a really neat job and run it under the carpet or through the head lining, which is probably the easiest thing, through the head lining, then you know, you can make a really neat installation of this. And the same goes for the power cables at the front of your vehicle to power the camera and the whole system. You can hide those away, sort of get some cable tidies and really hide the cables very, very well indeed. It's all up to you, the amount of time you spend on it. Now, moving on to video quality, well, I was really impressed. It captures a nice amount of detail with a good tonal range to it as well. It didn't blow out the highlights too much, although it did on occasion, but overall a very good performance. And also when I was going over bumps, it handled that very well too. Now I've tested other dash cams, and some of them were so sensitive to movement in the car that some of the footage was very shaky. Now, of course, if you're going over rough surfaces, this particular one will produce rough footage as well, but it did a better job than I'd experienced with previous dash cams that I've tested. It also records audio as well, which is not that fantastic. It's okay, but of course you can record audio, because if you want to narrate what's happened, then that's an important feature.
The audio you're hearing now is being recorded from the front camera module on the Vicovation Vico-Marcus 5 Dual. So you can see what the audio quality is like when it's mixed with the road noise whilst I'm driving.
But overall, just going back to the actual video footage, now I didn't test it at 1280 by 720, I stuck to the highest quality, which was 1920 by 1080, and the f2.0 aperture lens was really very good. I was really impressed with the quality of the video. I'll obviously let you decide what you thought of the video quality. I mean, you can let me know in the comment section below what you thought of how this camera performed, but I think it's really very good indeed. And if you want some peace of mind whilst you're actually out and about, that if something does happen, you've got that video footage that you can rely on, then this is a good option. This is the Vicovation Vico-Marcus 5. I think it's a really good product. In my previous dashcam video that I'll leave a link to in the video description, I did detail some insurance companies that offer you up to 15% discount if you've got a dashcam installed, which I think is well worth it. It certainly gives you some compensation back for investing in a kit like this, and then you've also of course got that added peace of mind. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think of the product and of course the video quality in the comment section below. Please do check out the links in the video description, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next one.